everyone. I'm Mike Koss, founder of KevAdvoTech, and thanks for joining today. I'm very excited to have two special guests today, Ann Hensley and her daughter Laura. And we're going to talk a bit about some of the exciting things that they're involved in and have been leading at something called Aktion Club in the villages. As our audience knows, at KevAdvoTech, while we focus on topics related to technology for special needs, what we really started doing about a year ago, and it's been a lot of fun, is I'm focusing a lot of our special interest stories around things happening in the Villages, Florida. There's a lot going on in our special needs community. So Ann and Laura are involved and certainly involved in one of those clubs, and we're going to talk a bit about that today. So Ann and Laura, welcome.
Thank you.
If you could start, let's start by, tell us a little bit about your family, where are you from? I know the answer to that question because Laura, you and I talk about that a bit, right? And
yes.
we share some stories about our home state, but introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about the family.
Well, my name is Ann Hensley, and as Mike knows, and with my daughter, we are from Michigan. We are from the Grand Blanc area. I am a U of M alumni, so I'm proud of that, as Mike is as well. Born and raised in Flint, Michigan, middle of the state. My family was basically, and myself included, all General Motors employees. My grandfather, my father, myself, Laura's dad, my sister, my uncle, we're all General Motors employees and retirees. So we are definitely a GM family, the auto industry. And I lived there for 52 years, as I said, born and raised. I never moved from Michigan until we moved to Florida. I had brought the kids, my daughter and son, down here a lot to visit their grandparents when they were younger, and never thought I would move to Florida. But the Villages is a special place. It is not Florida. To me, it's a transplant of the Midwest. It is something
right.
special.
Yeah.
But going back to my family, as I said, we're all General Motors employees or family. My daughter, Laura, is 35, and she lives with us. Her brother is 33, who lives in Madison, Wisconsin, who is married. He's an urban planner for the city of Madison, so he's doing well for himself there.
Nice.
So Laura is with us, and part of us moving down here, one of the first things I asked was, what do you have for special needs adults in the Villages? What can we look forward to having something for her to do? Well, when we moved here, it'll be 11 years in September when we moved in. The only thing we had here was Special Friends Bowling. So there was a weekly bowling league for our special needs adults and Special Olympics. And we had a couple of sports at that time. Going from there, we have really exploded. I would have to say we've really exploded in a lot of the things that we have here. But around that time, so let's say 10 years ago, a group of folks from the Kiwanis Club of Lady Lake came into a rec center that was here and proposed to a lot of our parents of our special needs adults, starting something called an Aktion Club. And action is spelled with a K, A-K-T-I-O-N, and the K is for Kiwanis. So the Kiwanis Club pitched to us that they would start this club, they would pay for the initiation, they would help get us started, they would provide whatever we needed, and they would be a partner with us in whatever we needed to do. And now the Kiwanis Club, which I am also a part of, and I joined that so that I could be the conduit between Kiwanis and the Aktion Club, which I'm the advisor for. And the Kiwanis mission basically is all about improving the lives of children, one child at a time. That is what Kiwanis is all about. So we're there for the kids of community. So we partner with, I would say, 5 or 6 different elementary schools in the area, and we provide books. We provide, we have a Bring Up Grades program. We have other kinds of reading programs, and we also help with festivals or funding that they might need for programs that they have. So as part of the Kiwanis family, they also encourage bringing children in at an early age. So they start with a builders club. They start with K kids, which is the elementary. Builders club gets in more to the middle age. Then you have the Key Club, which are the high schoolers. Then they get into the college. And then from college, they have added on to a special needs adult club, which is us, which is the Aktion Club. So when they came to propose, I say they, meaning the Kiwanis, came to propose setting up an Aktion Club, there was probably 25 families, I would say, at the start, Laura, that joined. And what I think is special about Aktion Club is that we have officers. We elect our officers. We have a president, a vice president, a treasurer, a secretary. And we run our meetings just like you would run any other meeting. Me as an advisor, I'm there to help with whatever needs to be done to help that the meeting goes along strong. And as I say, we started out with about 25 families. And over time, we're talking 10 years next year. So 9 years in, we're probably still around 20 members. So it ebbs and flows. It comes and goes. It is the kind of club that focuses on community involvement. That's what we want our special needs adults to be involved in, is service to the community. And that makes us somewhat unique of some of our other clubs, as there are many that Mike, I'm sure, has talked about in the villages that are social clubs, where, as I said, Special Olympics or some of our things where they participate, they make friends. This one, yes, we make friends, and we are a very small, tight-knit family, I would say, because from that original 25, there's 5 that are original members that have been with us for 9 years, including Laura. And Laura has been a president. She's been a secretary for many, many years, and she's still the secretary at this point. And I've been the advisor for pretty much that time too. But it works very well because, as I said, I'm the conduit between the Kiwanis Club. So when I find out what kind of activities they have going on that might work into our club, I make sure I bring that back. We vote on it. We decide if it's something we want to do. We find out who can attend, and we move forward with that. So we are pretty busy year round. We try to focus on the holidays, I suppose, like most everyone else does. So we're involved in the Easter egg hunt. So when Easter comes around, the Kiwanis Club actually sponsors the purchase of the candies for Lady Lake. And we help with putting the eggs out, having games around. We help with a lot of that type of thing. There's a Christmas parade. We always walk in the Christmas parade, throwing candy. That's one of our highlights of the year that we do. At Thanksgiving, we have typically each year put together bags of food that we pack, and we take it to the local food shelters. So we do things along that line. Every quarter, we pack candy into little pouches that go to Love Extension, which is in Tavares, which helps the elderly and disabled in Lake and Sumter counties. So we put together, as I said, just little candies that we put our name on, and we say that we've packed them and hope you have a nice day. And we've done a lot of things. Honor Flight. We've done Operation Shoebox. They're over the 9
You're
years.
getting out. I think the cool thing. Sorry to interrupt, Ann, but I think the cool thing is not only are the members enjoying each other's company and building friendships, they're out in the community, right? And they're giving back, and I think that's so important. And I want all the villagers and surrounding villagers in Central Florida to recognize that, right? I think it's so important what you and Laura and the club is doing. So in full disclosure, I'll say to the audience, so our son Kevin, who our audience knows, Kevin is a couple years older than you, Laura. He's 37, suffered a traumatic brain injury when he was 15. So when we first bought in the villages, 4.5 years ago now, time flies. I think I met you both fairly early on. and Kevin joined the club, and we would try to get there a little bit. It's mornings are a little tough for Kevin. I know you had 10 a.m. starts, and we're not there full time yet, but every time that we've been there, I know Kevin's enjoyed doing some of the arts and crafts. I think we were there a few years ago during Christmas season. I think late November, you started, making decorations for the tree that was going to be auctioned, the Christmas tree. So lots of really wonderful things you're doing. I learned a couple things already here early in this conversation. So I did not know, and it's obvious as day now, the K in action is for Kiwanis. So
That is correct.
yeah. So how large is, I mean, Kiwanis is a huge, I know it's widespread in the US, but I don't know if it's global or what. How big is Kiwanis in Central Florida, roughly?
Kiwanis is an international organization. It
Okay.
is.
Yeah.
I can't give you an exact number of Kiwanians that I know of in the Central Florida or in the Florida area, but I can talk about Aktion Club, and there's about 12,000 members worldwide in Aktion Club. We're not
Okay.
in every country. In Florida, I believe I heard there were 40 Aktion Clubs that are signed up, 20 that are active, and we are one of the more active. So I'm proud of that as well. Every year we have a conference, which our members really look forward to, which is coming up on Labor Day weekend, where we go away for a couple days. And so we bring people in from all over the state, and we're able to meet with our fellow Aktion Clubbers and learn from them, and also share some of our service projects so that we can come up with new ideas along the way. So how about you, Laura? I'm going to defer to you and let you talk for a minute. So what do you think about Aktion Club?
Aktion Club has increased the amount of opportunities used in the community to find new activities to do and help others and their ideas and more.
That's great. Well, Laura, look, first off, I know you are, but I'll say it anyway. You should be very proud of the work you're doing. Again, I've seen you in action at Aktion Club, right? As your mom described a short while ago, you have a formal leadership team and run the meetings, and I've watched you as secretary, I think, a number of times, taking minutes and all of that, and it's very well run, very organized. So you should be proud of the work you're doing. And you've made, I assume you've made a number of friendships along the way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good. And so here's another thing, totally separate of Aktion Club. I just learned about you both. You mentioned General Motors. I didn't know that about you. I'm a General Motors family as well here, and
Yes, okay.
yeah, my father, longtime GM employee and retiree, and I actually I begged him for a job out of high school to work at the 9 Mile Road and Mound plant in Warren, Michigan. He didn't want to do it, but I begged him, and that was very good paying money, certainly.
Oh, yes.
And especially for a young kid out of high school. So I worked about 3 years there and got a chance to, be part of that and work with my father, which has brought some great memories.
Oh, I'm sure.
That
That's
last
awesome.
a lifetime. And yeah, most of my family here have been, auto workers and for most of their careers. So that's
If you're
great.
from Michigan, you're either part of the auto family or you know someone that is. For sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now you've been running this now back to Aktion Club here. I didn't realize until we spoke just recently too. You're going on 11 years.
11 years in the Villages, but our charter for Aktion Club is in December of 14. So next year we'll have 10 years.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. And Anne and Laura, if you would share with the audience too, I could put, I'm going to put this information in an article, short article, on top of this podcast, when it's released, with contact info. But if you could tell the audience, what's the best way to get more information and perhaps join.
Certainly, I am the contact. So my name again is Ann Hensley. My cell phone number, which still has my area code from Michigan, is 810-241-6526. And my email address, which hasn't changed in all those years either, is ahensley00@gmail.com.
Great. Great. So I encourage our audience, come check them out. I love, they've got t-shirts that they wear. I know we've got a number of them hanging in our closet from over a few years. I think we've got some red ones and some lighter blue ones. Now, what's the significance of the colors again? I'm forgetting.
Well, the light blue ones are kind of the official Aktion Club colors, the blue and the orange. And when we first created or formed as a club, we got these light blue t-shirts. And then somewhere down the line, probably a few years later, it said, yeah, these are getting a little worn. Maybe we should add a little color. So we voted, as we always do, on a color, and red was selected. And the red ones we tend to wear for, let's say, our special events, when we're going off to camp, if we're in the parade, if we're going off at Christmas to sing Christmas carols, things along that line. So we wear our red shirts for more formal events, and our light blue shirts are our working shirts, we call them.
Okay. Yep. Very nice. Yeah, we love the t-shirt. So before we wrap this up, I would like share a little bit more. I know you've got a July meeting coming up.
Yes.
Club meeting, and I think you're doing something kind of unique, maybe a first of a kind, right? Going to do some cooking or baking, and I'm going to be there. I hope Kevin's going to be there with me as well, and my wife Ruth, and I want to cover this from KevAdvoTech and do a little video filming and write an article, but it sounds pretty cool. Can you tell us what to expect at the July session?
Sure. This is you are correct, a one of a kind for us. We meet in the community center, Lady Lake Community Center, which is set up as a meeting space, and they also have a kitchen. And I've thought over time, well, it'd be kind of neat if we could, like Christmas time comes around, let's bake cookies or let's do something, because and let me just backtrack a little bit. The beauty, I think, of our club is that it's very hands-on with our parents and caregivers. So when we meet for an hour, hour and a half, and we are outside the villages, so it is really open to anyone. It's not restricted to just the village residents. Is that, and that's how I got involved in a lot of things with Laura, is like, I'm going to take her because she doesn't drive. So if it's only going to be an hour and a half, I'm going to stay and I'm going to help. And that's why I've gotten involved in so many things. So parent participation is really key to a lot of this, and it helps us in creating our projects. So one of our moms, who happens to cook a lot, and she cooks for our bingo fundraisers on Fridays and Sundays, is going to be helping along this line. We always rely on Tammy. And one of our other moms said that she has a daughter who is into kind of building kits and putting different things together. And she said she had one that was a baking kit that we could put together banana nut muffins.
Wow.
And what's unique about it is that all of the instructions are color coded. So even for our members who can't read, it will be color coded to help them identify what needs to go into what. So we're excited to have Mike there because we don't know what's going to happen, but it should be interesting. It should be fun. It should be delicious.
Yep.
And we have a kitchen there. We have an oven. So after we put all this together, we have a little workstation that we can pull out kind of into the middle of the room. So that'll help to get kind of a 360 view of what we're doing. And we'll put those in the oven and we'll bake them and we'll get a final result. And hopefully it should be fun, right? I'm looking forward to it. Yes.
That does sound like a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
I'm going to save my appetite as well. And
There
I
you
look
go.
forward
Banana
to,
nut muffins.
oh,
Yes.
they're the best. So
Yes.
that's going to be great. Well, look, I very much appreciate both of you spending the time today and letting our audience get to know you both. And I encourage our audience, again, reach out if you're a Central Florida resident or even visiting and checking the area out. Contact Ann. She just provided her contact info. I'll put that in the podcast here as well. And I've got one final question though, Laura. It's actually for you. You know, you and I talk sometimes about Detroit and our favorite sports teams. And you
Yeah.
told me recently, I said, well, who's your favorite teams? And I think you told me the Red Wings and the Lions,
Yes.
right? So my important question to you is, what do you think about our Lions? Is this going to be
Well,
the year?
they're on the upswing. They're
Yes.
coming, they're, there's actually talk, there might be something happening.
Might be a year for the playoffs, right?
Ooh, that would be fun. Maybe I'll watch them.
Yes, yeah, exactly. We've been through a lot of lean years with our Detroit Lions, and
Yes.
the last month or two of last season was actually pretty exciting. We got that close to going to the playoffs, and in my lifetime, I haven't seen more buzz like there is in this off season, ever. So I hope they perform up to the expectations we all have for them. So
Yeah, that's pretty
Pretty high, yes. Let's
That's
hope
right.
so. Let's hope
That's
they live
right.
up to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I look forward to talking more Detroit sports banter with you as well, Laura, down the line. So again, to our audience, thank you for joining. Ann and Laura, any final thoughts as we go?
No, I welcome anyone that wants to inquire. My motto basically is give me your email. We'll copy you on our minutes, on our agenda. You see what we're all about. You come to a meeting. If it's not for you, that's okay. I totally understand. And you come when you can. So we're pretty open either way. Come and go and join us.
We also have a social media page on Facebook.
Very good. We do have a Facebook page. Want
Okay.
to tell what it is? What is how do you find us?
Basically, you look up Kiwanis Club of Lady Lake,
Kiwanis Action Club of Lady Lake.
And we constantly keep it updated with the activities we do
And pictures.
and pictures
Mhm.
from every
Okay.
event.
Yes, that's a good way to see what we do as well.
I'm not sure. I'm going to do that this morning.
Yes, we just
after
posted
we
some
wrap
from our
up.
last meeting. Mhm.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look at it and follow it. So that's exciting. Okay, well, thank you both, and I look forward to seeing you in July in the cooking class. And
We will be there with our aprons on.
Awesome. We'll report back to the audience. So thank you again, everyone, for joining, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.